Starter Deck Yugi and Starter Deck Kaiba were both released on March 29th of 2002, following the release of Legend of the Blue Eyes White Dragon released earlier that month. These starter decks gave easy access to some of the more difficult to obtain staples such as Monster Reborn, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Man-Eater Bug, Dark Hole, Fissure, and Trap Hole, while at the same time power creeping the game with bigger 0 tribute monsters like La Jin, the Mystical Genie of the Lamp, and bigger 1 tribute monsters like Summon Skull. These sets have also introduced several cards that are on our current Forbidden list, such as Last Will, Change of Heart, and Ultimate Offering. Several other notable cards worth playing in this set includes Wall of Illusion, Soul Exchange, Wabaku, and Reinforcements. Welcome to the Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. My name is Benji, and in this series, myself and various co-hosts will be trying to beat each other using the best possible deck that can be built using every set released in order, including starter decks, tournament packs, and all promotional cards released in video games, at the movies, or even at McDonald's. This is playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In order. Welcome back to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card database. I am currently going through Starter Deck Yugi, just to see what cards are worth playing, and then we're going to go through Starter Deck Kaiba. Then I'm going to take you to my deck list, we'll play our duel against our co-host of the day, and then we'll take a look at their deck list and see what their thought process was. You might notice I actively try to say co-host and not reveal who they are, and it's because I haven't decided at this point in the recording. Still asking around. But anyways, let's take a look through our Starter Deck Yugi. So Man-Eater Bug is in here, so nothing new. Claw Reacher, Dragon Zombie is a pretty strong monster. It's level 3, and it's a zombie. Unfortunately, there's nothing really zombie relevant yet, but it is good to note that the attack stats of monsters have been raised. So this is actually a monster already stronger than Skull Redbird, but there are several in the game, and we're going to have to account for that and pick the best ones. So Skull Redbird was our attack cap in the previous episode at 1550, so 16 is currently the new 1550. Trap Master is a flip effect monster that can destroy trap cards, but still playing around Trap Hole is a little too difficult. I'm not sure Trap Master is worth a card slot. Baron of the Fiend Sword is a fiend with the same stats as Skull Redbird, or attack anyway. So if we rely on 1500 attack power monsters, this would allow us to play Yami and get a boost for all of our monsters. Great White is here at 1600, so it's another stronger monster. We got Man-Eating Treasure Chest. I believe Kaiba has another monster that's a level 4 fiend. I think it's Ryukushin Powered, which has the same attack but higher defense. So this card is automatically power creeped by a card that came out in the other deck. And Neo the Magic Swordsman. We have our first 1700 attack power, no tribute monster. Definitely played this back in the day for a long time. Sorcerer of the Doom's at 1450, Stern Mystics 15. We got a lot of strong spellcasters. This is one of my favorite cards ever, Wall of Illusion. It says if this card is attacked by a monster, after damage calc, you can return that monster to the hand. Now, that just means that this card kind of acts as a Hain and a Giant Soldier of Stone simultaneously, because you get to block attacks and bounce monsters. Your opponent has to clear it somehow, so they have to attack into it with a monster that's too small or too big, and they lose their monster, or they have to flip it over and then fissure it. So this card is going to be really annoying. Moving on through the level 5 or higher monsters, we have Summon Skull as the strongest 1 tribute monster in the game, and it actually will be for several sets. I'm not exactly sure what set will power creep a Summon Skull. I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen for a long time, if it ever happens. I think the only levels Frostosaurus and Trance the Magic Swordsman will eventually come out, which are also stronger than Dark Magician. For spells, we have Card Destruction, which was limited to 2 when it came out, but I honestly don't think we need it limited here, so it's at 1 because we're playing traditional format. Change of Heart got an early release here, because it is officially going to come out in Metal Raiders and Ultra Rare, but in this set it's actually a common. D-Spell is relevant. As you might have seen in the previous episode, Swords of the Reeling Light is really annoying, and I was playing Armed Ninja to out it, but I'd rather not waste a set or a summon on a Swords of the Reeling Light, so a D-Spell gives us a way to play around that. There aren't too many trap cards yet, so you can target a set and potentially actually kill a spell. This is where Dian Keto was first released with its alternate art. We got Last Will, which is currently its forbidden card. I did play Last Will at 3 in a deck in a few formats following this one, but because we're playing traditional format, Last Will is going to be at 1 in this episode. So there's not much to do with Last Will, but usually what I would do with Last Will is I would activate as many Last Wills as I had, and then either tribute summon a monster, and then just, I think that's tribute summon Skull, and summon 2 Witches Apprentices from the deck, and they come out at 2,000 each, and Summon Skull would be at 35. That's what I used to use Last Will for, but it did lead to the Scientist FTK. Soul Exchange is a new piece of spot removal we're going to have access to. We'll be able to just Soul Exchange any of our opponent's monsters, and then tribute it for Summon Skull, I guess, or Blue Eyes White Dragon. Sword of Dark Destruction kind of power creeps the current equipment spells in that it gives more than 300 attack, It also reduces defense, so technically if your opponent plays a monster with a defense that's a little too high, you can bring it down a little. Castle Walls. This card actually hasn't been printed again, other than in starter decks. All it does is give you 500 defense. And since attacking into a defending monster, if you boost its defense, isn't going to kill someone's monster, it's not a card worth playing. But Reinforcements, on the other hand, in this format is. We can just give ourselves a small attack boost, and suddenly monsters that have the same attack will manage to kill each other. We could also do that with Waboku, which is also in this set. Reverse Trap's in here, but I'm not sure how many attack modifiers our opponent will be playing, so I'm not sure if it's worth playing. And Ultimate Offering is here. Now, Ultimate Offering's forbidden because there are a lot of monsters that search on normal summon, but at this time, all you can really do is dump your hand onto the field and then just get Raigeki or Mirror Forced, so it's not really a problem currently, but it will clearly be at some point. And the last card in this structured starter deck is Waboku, which is just not worth playing while we have Swords of Revealing Light. Let's take a look at starter deck Kaiba. So now we're going to take a look at starter deck Kaiba. We have a reprint of Nyhmnim. The Wicked Worm Beast is released in this set. Now, Worm Beast returns to your hand, so this isn't a bad card for this format because Dark Hole's at 3. And if your monster isn't going to get murdered by Dark Holes all the time, it can hide in your hand. Although there are better monsters to play, and you still have to normal it every turn, so... Battle Ox, 1700 attack power monster. We have... Let's see... Komori Dragon is the biggest dragon monster if people want to play dragons, because this set does have Lord of D, who lets you play Flute of Summoning Dragons, so if you wanted to play more dragons, then you can actually summon. Komori Dragon's a good way to go. We got La Jin, the biggest beater of the Yugi and Kaiba era. Another effect monster is Mysterious Puppeteer, who just gives you 500 when your opponent summons, but he's not strong enough to live long, so not going to rely on that. We got a couple 1600 monsters. We got Rogue Doll, which is a spellcaster, and Ryukushin Powered, which is a fiend. So these cards, along with Neo the Magic Swordsman and La Jin, make Yami a runnable field spell, but everyone should really be on that, so we got the Urabi and Skull Redbird reprints in this set. Judge Man is another monster that can beat a Curse of Dragon, but there's no reason to play it over Summon Skulls, so unless you can justify playing more than 3 1-tribute monsters, you can't play that. Okazi's in this set, so we have just increased the burn ceiling. I mentioned D-Spell is good, and I'm not sure if people were aware, but Remove Trap, which is, it's not the opposite of D-Spell, it can hit face-down trap cards. We also have Just Desserts, which is the best burn card in this set, in this era even. And I think that covers everything. Everything else was for the most part in the Yugi deck, or was also a reprint. So we're going to take a look at the deck list, and we'll introduce our opponent. Hello again, and welcome to Starter Deck Yugi and Starter Deck Kaiba. This is the deck list I've compiled for this week's episode, and we are up against John of TeamSetPass. Channel link will be in the description. John, you want to tell anybody about your channel before we get started?
Hey guys, so we started the channel pretty much focused on Cyber Dragon content, and I actually don't know if you remember or not, Benji, but you gave us a shout out when we were much smaller than we are now, and we've come a long way, and we're starting to branch out into all kinds of stuff, so we appreciate any of the support from you guys, and it keeps us going.
Alright, yeah, I've seen a bunch of Cyber Dragon stuff from your channel. I thought I'd bring you on for How to Cyber Dragon soon. If you guys weren't aware, I do how-to videos as well with deck experts, whoever I can get for doing different decks. So, John, you'd be interested in potentially doing How to Cyber Dragons in the future?
Yeah, that would be actually really fun and cool.
Cool. Just gotta find the day and the time to do that. But for now, you have your deck built for LOB, Starter Deck Yugi, Starter Deck Kaiba?
I do.
Alright, so this is technically like the original Yu-Gi-Oh format, because before the starter decks there wasn't really a rulebook. So even though I had a first episode that was just LOB, odds are no one actually played pure LOB format. So this is going to be a little bit more realistic of what actually happened. So we're going to play our match, and after our match we'll discuss our card choices. You can go first and then I'll do mine, or either way. Either way, let's get into the match. Alright, we're going to get started with our game. Can you beat me in a game of rock, paper, scissors? It's essentially what old school Yu-Gi-Oh was.
Yeah, but old school Yu-Gi-Oh! You started with 6 cards.
Yeah, we are playing Master Rule 5, which doesn't actually matter at this point because there's no Link monsters in the game. It won't matter until we get to a set that actually has pendulums in it. I'm going to let you go first, mostly because, oh, you have an extra deck. That concerns me.
I do have an extra deck.
Guy of the Dragon Champion Turbo?
You shall find out.
Oh man.
I do find it very interesting after watching your first progression series. The card pool changes pretty drastically from getting those starter decks in with Yugi and Kaiba.
Suddenly there's a significant amount more trap cards that are possible to play. Like, that could be a Trap Master. Like, that wasn't something I was actually worried about before. Now I have to be concerned.
Yeah, for sure. And for anyone who hasn't actually played in this time, it's kind of tricky because one set card, you'd think I could just like summon a Lajin and just start beating them down, but you don't want to commit everything because cards like Dark Hole will make you pay for that very quickly.
Yeah, well, we're playing traditional format. We're not actually using the ban list from back then. So the ban list back then, I think there was one Dark Hole, one Raigeki, 2 Swords of Revealing Light, 2 Card Destruction, 1 of each Exodia piece. I feel like there was something else on the list to start the game. 1 Change of Heart,
Pot
1
of
Monster
Greed?
Reborn.
Did you mention the Pot of Greed?
Oh yeah, 1 Pot of Greed. Alright. I don't want to get Man-Eater bugged.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this so far. I was hoping much slower format, but this is pretty...
Yeah, you got mad trap cards. I really didn't want a Dark Hole 1 monster, but I don't want to like have to put cards on the board either.
Well, it's a good one to get rid of, that's for sure.
Yeah, I love Wall of Illusion. It was like my favorite defense position monster for many sets. Got the trap hole, or 3 trap holes. Am I never successfully sticking a monster to the board?
Let's go ahead and try something a little different. Maybe catch you off guard.
That is definitely not what was expected. That card I actually wasn't sure I wanted to play.
I had very mixed feelings on it, but I suppose it's only battle phase. I could have waited, but...
I mean, what was I going to do? Activate Remove Trap? I could have. If I assumed you were playing the Dragon Capture Jar or something. Oh god, that was unexpected. Oh man. I've never seen Ultimate Offering used to make a set.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done it before either.
Ultimate Offering wasn't played very often back in the day. I mean, before you had gadgets, searching another gadget for every normal summon, there wasn't much reason to play Ultimate Offering. I don't think it saw a lot of play.
Yeah, I actually did a few practices with a friend last night, and it came up a few times where he said a few, and I actually Ultimate Offering and tributed into a summoned skull on his turn when his trap holes weren't actually live, so that worked out really nice in my favor, but kind of mixed feelings. It just couldn't really justify another card over it, I guess, so I left it in there.
Yeah, there's definitely not that many cards to play, so it's not like a bad card. You will have hands that just have a ton of monsters that all you can do is summon and set them, so your options are very limited. Okay.
Preferably like when you have set cards to do that, but...
Oh man, you just activated the most annoying card in the game.
At least we got a D-Spell now, not just relying on our Arm Ninja.
Yeah, fortunately my opponent didn't really know about Swords of Revealing Light in the previous round, but I'm very aware of it.
There is the D-Spell. That's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, I can't wait for MST, and I'm not sure which set it comes out in. It's either for Pharaoh's Servant or Magic Ruler. I don't think it's in Magic Ruler, because I've actually already pre-recorded all like the beginning part of the video for that, and I don't remember it being in there. But I also did that a while ago too, so forgetting what's in these videos so far. I got mad Neos. I'm predicting a Dark Hole coming down.
Yeah, now that you got a couple monsters, we can go ahead and do a little more.
You want a Ultimate Offering, even though you have your normal summon?
No, that's more of a niche use, I guess. You got that set card still, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Let's go Ryukushin Powered. I think when I first built my deck, I was playing Man-Eating Treasure Chest. Gosh darn it. And Man-Eating Treasure Chest is just Ryukushin Powered with 200 less defense. Themed.
Okay.
I just missed it.
Let's see what that set is.
It was there for hoping you'd go aggressive.
Gotcha. That's actually a card I was not sure if I should play it or not.
Well, it's like Rush Recklessly, which will be coming out in the future. Oh man. That's a big
That's why
ability.
we had to trap hole your other guy, because I wanted to make sure my monster stuck for the turn.
No, that's a good idea. I kind of my out for trap hole is to just throw a monster in it.
It's got to get rid of it at some point. The downside to this format is with your, especially with having 3 dark holes and then the fissures and everything else, is it's hard to commit a bunch of resources because
Well, oh yeah, you
you
can't
don't
use
want to
ultimate
get
offering
dark holed
during.
and lose everything.
I was thinking if you use ultimate offering during your battle phase, you can like play around like certain cards. Like that's one of the things I used to use Last Will for. You would like activate Last Will and then attack into Mirror Force, and then you would still have to be able to summon something. Last Will is like a really weird card for like its the way it references how it's activated. It just says during this turn, if your monster is sent from field to grave, you can summon something. It doesn't say about when. It doesn't say you have to activate it before or after the card is destroyed. So you could just literally just... Oh, man.
I'm really weary. Okay, yeah. I was going to say Wall of Illusion and Man-Eater Bug. Either one of them would not be too kind at this moment.
Yeah, not at all. I was definitely holding that since the beginning of the game, waiting for something that's worth setting it in front of. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great. Dare you to tribute to someone again.
Yeah, this was another moment where I was not quite sure if I wanted to commit too much because I definitely did not have games, so...
It's really hard to establish game, and I opened like double Dark Hole and was trying to find the right moments to use them. Oh, don't trap hole me again. Woo!
We are going to try this again, though.
No! You want to do it again? Do a tribute summon? Oh, shit. That was... not good. I wish I had a monster strong enough to beat that. I would have if I had the reinforcements. Is definitely the way to play around Login.
Yeah, I suppose with like Ryokishin powered Neo, those were just a couple hundred shy. Yeah. I didn't want to, or I was trying to count up how much I would have dealt had I summoned him last turn, but I would have been about 1,000 short, so well, good thing I didn't.
You'd be in a terrible spot. That Dark Hole would have been crushing.
I'm actually excited to see our lists. Other than a couple little things, I don't think they're going to be too different, because I watched your...
yeah, you probably got some insight from the previous video. There isn't too much differences you can make.
And I actually did my initial deck list before you did your analysis of the starter decks and which cards are good and everything. Ooh, that one will hurt.
Oh yeah, I shared my analysis of this set with you before.
Yeah.
Before the video is actually going to be released, so you actually have some insight that I think my previous opponent, Desperate Oak, did not have.
But yeah, after watching that, I was like, I think our decks are going to be much more similar than I initially had thought. Ooh.
Well, I can't attack you. At the trap hole? I feel like it's got to be there. No?
Ultimate Offering likes to ask if I want to do anything.
That makes sense. God damn it.
I don't think that's going to do a whole lot. I think it's just going to help both of us out equally, but...
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to commit to playing that one, because all the best cards are Fiends and Spellcasters, so...
Yeah, I was very on the fence, and tried not to take too much stock into your initial video because of how different the card pool was. We didn't have a 1600 attack monster with LOB. So...
Oh man, super fair.
Oh.
Off the top. Because I was definitely losing. For sure.
It was a trap hole the whole time, though.
I mean, it's fine. It makes sense.
Yeah, I almost dropped it on the Summon Skull, and then I realized that...
You have the Dark Hole, and I couldn't
The Dark
attack.
Hole would have been... Yeah. Clear out that Wall of Illusion, because that's not a fun card to deal with.
Yeah. I didn't want to overcommit to that Summon Skull play either, but
And hopefully it's not a Wabaku or Trap Hole, but
It is a
this
trap hole.
format, I feel like it is one of those two cards.
Trap hole. I just gotta draw, like, a monster for 2 turns. Well, I'll just draw 2 monsters for 1 turn.
Ooh. What does that card do again?
I don't know. I feel like we could have the most anticlimactic ending ever of just attacking into a defense position monster. Life's
And
getting
losing
really low. You know what's like a big issue is that Yami means if I top deck a Neo or a Lajin, I have game.
Yeah, that is actually a really good point.
Means if you draw another Yami, you should actually set it.
Should have thrown a random highest attack of another type with 1 field spell to catch off guard, but I don't even know what that would be. Probably the Winged Beast, maybe? 1550. Or is there a 1600 that's... or no, your shark guy, Great White, if with
yeah,
did we not
Umi,
have
I
Umi?
guess. That would be an option.
I guess it still wouldn't, it would just match a Lajin though. It would not actually surpass.
Well, there's nothing that can really get past. I guess you could try and make Battle Ox bigger than Neo and Lajin. I don't want to die. Oh no, I was kidding about that other guy.
Take your advice there,
Alright, well, let's try and get in for some damage. Ultimate Offering? Wabaku. Okay. Go ahead.
And you haven't used any Wabaku yet and still have a Trap Hole.
Yeah, Wabaku is like a questionable play to begin with, just because we have 3 Swords of Revealing Light.
And not to give it away, but I'm only playing 2 because I kind of felt similar. Sometimes it's nice to protect your monster to get out the big boy so they can Trap Hole it.
How many trap holes did you play?
I am not even sure at this moment.
I've seen 2. 2 were in the graveyard. I mean, I can't really play around it anyway. Son of a... Okay, let's... Did I activate that in your impermanence column?
You did not. But that is why we were holding on to these little guys.
Yeah.
Although I probably could have just saved it since I couldn't exactly do anything anyway.
Yeah, you probably should have saved it for where I felt that was safe or something.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't really get anything out of that.
Yeah, you probably could have just done that later. You know, like I might have summoned a monster and attacked, and then it would be something for you to attack through.
Yeah. At least wait until I have a move to make before. I think it's safe to say in current format you do not see turn 42 very often.
Yeah, but these turns are still really fast. We're never going to hit the 40-minute mark that you would have in a more traditional format. I mean, our current format. Because every turn is like 2 seconds. I'll either activate something or set something, and that's about it. Uh-oh. That could be a problem.
This might be like the first ever instance of removing a target in the game's history.
Yeah, broken.
Oh man, but it's probably a man-eater bug or an illusion.
Well, I mean, if it's illusion, you just have to make the exact same play again in a minute.
Just trying to see where my monster count kind of stands. I should be alright to take the gamble. I feel like it's the bug though, yeah. We do both have the same cards in deck, well, before your draw, same cards in deck, and hand and field presence.
Let's go Aquamador for game! Oh, not for game, 1200. You couldn't flip that field spell?
Very... Oh!
Bam. Reinforcements for game, just in case you were being cheesy with that ultimate offering and actually had something.
I actually had a Wabaku set, but I didn't expect it to be game, so I was going to save it.
Ha! Gotcha.
Oh, yes you did. Well, good game.
Yeah, man, good game. Okay, what to put in? Siding's hard when there's so many bad cards on the side and so many good ones in the main.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, I can't make choices here. This is too tough.
Yeah, I didn't make many changes, just a couple ideas that I'll talk about when we're not going into a game, I guess.
No, I hear you.
But we are going to go second, because I would like that extra card.
Yeah, the extra card's nice. And I always went second even back in the day, even when you got the first turn card, just because I'm like, I'm not doing anything going first. I'd rather I'd rather destroy something, but you can only destroy things in battle, and you can't get over like anything.
Yeah, and unless you actually hard open your trap hole, it's not necessarily doing a whole lot either. Like going first, because it's not much to gain.
Well, that sets back your extra card.
I'm okay with that. We're just going to try and get a little more aggressive this time and get all those bugs and walls out of here.
Well, at least you'll always have a normal summon.
That is very true.
Be nice to draw monsters. Well, Pot of Greed.
Any monsters now?
Not really.
That makes me feel like you sided into something that Yami isn't helping, because I doubt that would be a Yami.
Or I figured it, I didn't want it discarded, and it is a Yami, and I figured it'll just boost your monster. 2 for 1. Look at all those defensive boys.
Battle Axe. That's probably the card that would be the most beneficial from another field spell, how we had briefly talked last game.
Yeah, I made a couple of options for my side deck for that kind of thing, but I didn't see you play a Battle Axe, so I figured it made the most sense.
This definitely was not a bad call.
I didn't see you play Battle Axe, so I figured it made the most sense.
This definitely was not a bad call. I'm sure there's some type of board wipe coming, but we will try to even the score out a little bit. And unless you play it, you're always going to have it anyway, so it's got to come out at some point or another.
Oh man, the Trapmaster again.
I actually was not initially going to play it, but after some of those practice games, it actually, my friend was playing it, and I kept getting rid of my trap hole, and I was not happy with that.
Yeah, a lot of cards you wouldn't expect to actually matter wind up mattering in these slow formats. Like, I think in the next set, Big Eye is a flip effect monster that lets you sort the top 5 cards of your deck. That doesn't sound important. It's a Dark Fiend but stacking Pot of Greed and another card is pretty good as a default set.
Now we're gonna use your field spell.
That's not cool, bro. I didn't account for this possibility. It's a hell of a monster you got there.
The downside, I might be able to attack over a Wall of Illusion, but then I would be returning a Battle Ox to your hand.
That'd be pretty funny.
I
have used 2 walls at this point. You want to? Oh, Wabaku's good in this spot too. Oh, all right, go ahead. But yeah, Wabaku's good here too because then you kill my monster, but I don't kill yours.
Sadly, Wabaku is just battle protection. Otherwise, it would have been pretty broken for the time being if it would protect against like a trap hole type destruction. But we're a little before the times of Konami just power creeping everything to a bad degree. Back to your graveyard where it belongs, so to speak.
Yep.
Definitely a much faster pace, at least so far, than our previous game.
Well, there's not nearly as many trap holes on the field as there were last game.
That is also very true.
Ruh-roh.
I don't think it's gonna stick, but
No, it's not sticking.
at least we can throw it in a hole and get rid of your monster in the process.
Not the worst use of your cards there.
I mean, it was a even trade-off. It's not an actual advantage gain, but
It'd be nice to be able to do like an OTK, but not exactly that doable. Well, I'm hoping that's a man-eater bug.
it is not.
Oh, because that would have been cool if it had to kill itself.
Yeah, mandatory effects kind of suck at some points.
You want to fire that D-spell off really early again?
I'm actually debating on it.
You put that wall into battle and do some damage. Make it easier for me to get over.
That would be very true. But when I was siding, I decided to go aggressive, so we're gonna stick with my plan. At least I'd still bounce it, but I will lose my wall. Unless you have the dark hole and it won't matter anyway.
I have this dark hole, it won't matter anyway.
I was gonna say, actually in that scenario though, a Fisher would have also hurt. Oh no, you're gonna bug my bug.
Yeah, whoever bugs first wins. And look, my bug. 200 attack boost. Who would have thought that that might matter? Not that it really matters. Damn.
We can get something good.
I don't know what this could be. That would be like worth attacking into, but wall? Oh no. Bug!
Not gonna bug your bug though.
Well, my bug's gonna get in for that a ridiculous 650.
Get me back down to an even number at least.
Yeah. Now I
Not
can
sure
beat you with almost any monster I draw.
Cannot wait until they get to those where we have like the random like 14-10 attack or the really odd ones that they did for a brief amount of time.
One's in this set. We got Reaper of the Cards. It's level 5.
Oh, that's actually true. I guess I did miss we have those.
And I got the
They're almost... Well, that's going to be it.
Yeah. My sets are Reinforcements and Soul Exchange.
Oh, and I actually have a Dark Hole that I could have made a play for next turn, but...
I also have a Forest in my hand, so I have another copy of the field spell, so I had like a dead card. To the deck list. So this is the list I played. I left in the one giant, the Great White, to start with the Ryukushins, because I didn't want to like play Yami at first, so I was trying to decide. I guess I wanted them to kind of be in there, so if I just side them in, I can go one way or the other with the field spells. And I didn't like Soul Exchange is good, but I didn't want to like fully commit to tributing monsters, and I didn't know how much I'd need swords, so I went with two. Reinforcements I figured would do the battle edge. Like if your opponent lets you summon a monster that they don't think you can get over, you can probably like sneak in the reinforcements for destroying a monster. I didn't expect it to sneak in for game. That was surprising.
That was interesting.
I think that's all that's really interesting about the list I have here. Most of the otherwise, I think it's pretty normal stuff. The battle ox. I kind of went like 50-50 on the Umis and forests because I didn't want to draw too many useless forests, which is what happened. Or too many useless Umis because there's only one monster in the deck that gets the boost. But I didn't see the point of playing Yami since you were going to obviously play Lajin, Summon Skull, and Neo.
Yeah, looking back, that's probably one I could have omitted out, but...
Yeah, because it just wound up... I mean, it only gets you over the wall, really. But I don't know if you were playing like these. I actually haven't looked at your deck list yet. I did save it as my... I just changed the name before putting it in here, and I called it 2. So this is your list. I hadn't looked at it till now.
Yep, we're good.
All right, do you want to explain your choices?
Yeah, looking back, I played a little more defensive, and especially seeing your list, I do like how you included the Umis with like the Midor and the Battle Oxes and Forest because of everyone's playing Fiends and Spellcasters, so Yami's kind of a push as far as that goes. In testing, I actually was playing the one Judgment, so maybe with the Forest that would have helped keeping it. But with 4 Tribute monsters, it just felt a little unnecessary. And then sticking with the strategy we went with, Lajin and Neo being the stronger ones. Wall obviously is Wall in the format, great card for defense. Maneater Bug, another one that I liked as defense as opposed to the higher defense ones. But them do definitely come up being nice when you can just stop your opponent as opposed to losing your card and stopping them still. Trapmaster in testing, like we kind of talked, my friend kept getting rid of my trap holes, so that was the theory. Just didn't quite pan out as hoped.
Yeah, just the fact you have to set it just to flip it, just to deal with the trap hole. I felt like I'm better off just summoning a card and getting a trap hole than it getting attacked over first. I don't know. I guess it can go either way. Because if they attack into it, it blocked while killing trap hole. So theoretically, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when it's played against me, it worked as they wanted it to, but when I play it, it just did not work as I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Alright. Then
I see you had reinforcements on the side. Did these come in for game 2?
They did. They were not exactly... My side deck, I guess, was really kind of not sure what I was planning on doing a whole lot. It's been a while since I played back with this type of a format. I would change the approach going forward, but it's kind of defensive cards or offensive cards for whatever way I felt I needed to lean more. And I didn't expect you to play a Blue Eyes because when Summon Skull came out, it kind of power crept any of the 2 tribute monsters. But just in case, it was a way to get a monster up there or lodge in over a 2k defense, something of that sort.
How'd you feel about Ultimate Offering? I sided Ultimate Offering, and I sided it in when I saw what it was doing for you.
Yeah, it's actually... I sneakily liked it, I guess. I never really disappointed to see it. It's a one-of, so I mean, you're not always going to see it when you need to, but I did like it, more than Waboku at least. That one was kind of just stopped, but didn't really do a whole lot other than that.
Yeah, I feel like Waboku doesn't make sense to play if you have more swords. I felt like, back in the day, I definitely played Waboku. I think it was like in place of Dark Holes, which weren't an option at the time.
Yeah, I did side them out in game 2, and I put in all my Ryukishin powards and went for a little more aggressive tactic, which didn't quite work, but...
Yeah, I think my game 2 I opened like 5 spells. Oh, no, I opened 2 Walls of Illusion, then just kept top-decking spells, including Pot of Greed into 2 spells.
Yeah, and then the Gaia, the Dragon Champions, I guess, were just kind of a decoy to hopefully throw you off.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to play an extra deck. I mean, it doesn't do anything. But there's also nothing I can do about it. Like, if you activate Poly and summon Gaia, what am I going to do? I can't trap hole it.
Yeah.
All I can do is... like, I think in the first video, I think I just tribute summoned Blue Eyes and attack over it.
Yeah, but... So I guess that was kind of just old school Yu-Gi-Oh mind tactic attempt, but definitely didn't actually do anything. As you can see, there's absolutely no possible way to summon them.
I think Curse of Dragon's not worth playing because it can't get over a 2k defense. Alright, so thanks again, John. Everyone make sure you check out TeamSetPass. The next episode is actually going to be... what comes after this? Metal Raiders?
Yeah, I believe so. So Solemn Judgment.
Yeah, Solemn Judgment. I'm actually going to also include Tournament Pack 1 in the Metal Raiders episode because we kind of power prepped the Lodgin into the game like one set early. So I figured adding another beefy boy makes sense because Tournament Pack 1 kind of comes out between Metal Raiders and Magic Ruler, and so it doesn't really, and it is literally only like one playable card in the set, so it doesn't really make sense to give it its own video. So
yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully everyone's not upset that I don't do 2 videos for that. But once again, John, thanks. I'll see you guys next time on Yu-Gi-Oh! In Order, and we might see John again in the future.